My name is Edward Sapiano, and I'm a lawyer. When I graduated from law school 13 years ago, I thought I had paid my dues, but the hardest part was still to come. We're going to watch 4 aspiring lawyers in a 12-month test by fire called articling. Will they crash and burn, or be transformed into the real thing? Quinn Ross is incredibly driven, but instead of big money law firms, he's opted for quality of life. He's chosen to live and work with his parents in a rural law firm.
I don't want to look like an ass in front of my parents' colleagues.
But Quinn loves a challenge.
It's wartime, it's go time.
Can a small town serve Quinn's ambitions, or will his goals change? Aisha Chowdhury is a recent immigrant with 2 preschool children. She lives with her husband's extended family.
I'm misbehaving. Always tell me.
Working at a legal aid clinic with disadvantaged people in crisis is more than just a job.
It's a reflection of my faith.
But can she juggle home and work?
All I want to do is just rest.
Or will she be forced to make a choice? Bill Thompson is a sweet middle-class idealist from the suburbs who's committed to defending the underdog.
Important kind of situation to try to defend the little guy.
Articling at one of Canada's top criminal law firms, he's about to enter a whole other world.
This is where the rubber hits the road.
Will his lofty principles survive the year?
Haven't become an alcoholic or anything like that yet.
Christine Wiseman is insecure but ambitious. She's the only professional in her working-class family. Now she's articling at a corporate law firm, but she's terrified the law's not for her.
I don't want to do it.
Her fiancé Kevin is in for a rough ride.
But Kevin!
If she quits, 4 years of blood, sweat, and tears go down the drain. In this episode of Almost Legal, Christine questions her career choice.
I don't know. My God, if it's all that hard, and I don't want to do it.
And Quinn learns that his first case has a tragic history.
No, I'm getting emotional.
Law brings you people who feel very strongly about their position.
Goderich, Ontario. This is where Quinn grew up. The Ross firm, his parents' practice, is a landmark here.
I don't want to look like an ass in front of my parents' colleagues, people who they've practiced with for 30 years in my father's instance and 20 years in my mother's instance. I'm excited about the fact that I've sat here and seen my father here dozens of times, and maybe soon he can sit here and I can be here.
Every articling student has a principal to mentor them, or mother them, as the case may be.
You're very mindful of either erring on one side or the other. One, are you being too easy on him? Or are you being too hard on him? Or are you just treating him as you would treat any other articling student? Quinn, this is probably going to feel a little bit weird, but I'm just going to do this the way I did it with the last articling student I had, to whom I had no familial relationship.
I think that that's the standard upon
Is that
which we
okay?
should make it for sure, yeah.
It's going to be interesting in terms of the interpersonal dynamics with my parents. Like, they're my parents. We're spending 8 hours a day together, and then for money-saving purposes, we're going to be living together as well.
And he understands that Quinn's going to come over, and
some
And if you want
respects,
Quinn to
it's never an
participate.
equilibrium. I'm always a father, and he's always a son. And that has, you know, has a good side to it and a more difficult side to it.
Oh, my God, what have I got myself into?
My first day, I was pumped and ready for action. Christine definitely has the jitters.
I hope I'm going to be ready in about 5 minutes when I have to leave.
I'm always like this in the morning. I'm a mess. And rough.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to know going in and what I'm supposed to be able to do on my own and what I'm supposed to have to ask all kinds of questions about. Just the uncertainty of it.
I hate running around like that in the morning. Because now I feel like I'm forgetting something, or I don't know.
Pleased to meet you.
Christine's chosen to apprentice at a well-known corporate law firm that's been in business for nearly 100 years.
We've got lots of goodies for you.
John O'Kane will be Christine's mentor. He's seen a lot of articling students come and go.
Find your way around. So we'll go through the education plan. We'll get you set up on the computer.
I'm a criminal lawyer. For me, business law is boring.
Electronic tools that
I
assist
wonder
us
if
with
Christine's
filing
going to
practice.
survive all that paper pushing.
The amount of paper we deal with, it's next to impossible to stay on top of it if you don't have systems in place.
And the whole time I'm like, oh my God.
Because it was like
a mile a minute for an hour, and I don't know. Everything's so dependent on being able to work a computer, and God, I don't know if I'm that proficient at it.
Christine's in for some late nights at the computer. But Quinn's up at the crack of dawn on his first assignment from Mom and Dad. The culprit, those noisy little speed bumps called rumble strips on Route 25.
This is not a scenario discussed in law school. Driving down country roads in order to ascertain the density and frequency and volume of rumble strips.
Quinn's client wants the Ross firm to convince the county to stop the racket.
So thanks for seeing us so early, but from what I hear, you were already awake as a result of the noise.
I didn't need an alarm clock because I was telling Peter this morning.
The reality is, regardless of the amount of data you put in front of a county council, if you try to convince them that rumble strips don't increase safety, that's going to be a tough sell. And I think that that's what we're going to have to deal with in the county council.
Yeah, I know, I want the safety.
Right.
Just that,
There's a reason Quinn's parents sent him on this house call. It's more than just a friendly visit. You never know what your client might reveal.
Side coming in into my driveway, I'll have 3-4 cars behind me. I got my signal on. The fourth car does not know.
He'll pass you.
Will try to pass. And if I don't look in my mirror,
Yep.
and I had 2 incidents almost.
It's Friday.
Now Quinn knows that his case is more about safety than noise, but he needs to verify what his client has just told him.
I'm just going to allow this tape to run and hear the activity over the rumble strips in terms of both frequency and volume.
Will Quinn's investigative work win him his first case? Already stressed about her job, Christine and her fiancé are moving in together and renovating their new home. Is this a recipe for disaster?
I should have taken the rest of the day off.
4 young lawyers, 12 months, in a test by fire called articling. Quinn's working at his parents' law firm. Exhausted from an early morning client meeting, he has a long day ahead of him collecting evidence for his first case. Christine is overwhelmed by her first day. She's working at a busy corporate firm and she's expected to hit the ground running. Problem is, this bride-to-be has a million other things on her mind.
Kevin!
After his first meeting with the client, Quinn has some promising news to report to the boss, his mom.
It was good to do the interview because the facts in the file really didn't give you a sense of what the client's concerns were, in that it's a 90-kilometer-an-hour zone. There's 5 houses right there. I watched. Cars don't even begin to stop until they're on rumble strip 5. His suggestion, and I think it's pretty logical, is to have a moderate speed zone in there.
Before they get to the
Before
T.
they get to the T.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where we are on this.
So it was a beautiful morning.
Gorgeous. I'm completely whipped now. So I'm going to do this research, and I may beg your leave to go home and have a snooze this afternoon.
I don't think so. Welcome to the wonderful world of articling.
A snooze? What planet is he on? Collecting evidence to build his case, that's his priority. This intersection has exactly what his client wants. The evidence he collects here will become the cornerstone of his case. Now he's got it. You have to get mud on your shoes if you want to get the dirt. But small towns aren't big on change. Quinn's got his work cut out for him. Success in the articling year depends on focus. But Christine is renovating, moving in with her fiancé, and planning their wedding.
Oh, what a mess.
Is she insane?
Oh my God. Can you just replace the doorbell? You gotta run the whole new thing.
Christine and Kevin live in completely different worlds. He's a heating contractor. She's an aspiring lawyer. How did they hook up?
Yeah, it was an absolute setup. Yeah. Why don't you come to this party? It's my sister's baseball party, and there's going to be this girl there I want you to meet. So I said, okay.
Yeah.
3 years ago now?
I think that's it.
Yeah, it's a little over 3 years now. Perfect. We have electricity. She's the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. She's my soulmate, really.
It's been 3 long years, according to Kevin, but Christine's in no hurry to tie the knot.
We got a bunch of other stuff to get out of the way. I have to finish school. Christine has to be called to the bar, get everything out of the way, and then, yeah, absolutely. Would be nice. I'm looking forward to being a stay-at-home dad, eh, Chris? Because you're going back to work. Oh, yeah.
That's all gonna happen in a week.
The whole house will be complete in a week.
1 week.
There's lots to do, but not that much.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.
I have so much to do. And now apparently I have to pick out paint chips, and I should have taken the rest of the day off.
This year promises to be incredibly stressful for Christine, and it's guaranteed to put her relationship with Devin to the test. Quinn's a newlywed, but the demands of articling have nearly erased any quality time with his wife, Erin.
Articling, my articling experience and the law I'm doing, 10 out of 10. In terms of the whole dynamic, a 9 out of 10. I'd like to see my wife more. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
Good.
How's your day?
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
How was your day?
Excellent, busy.
I sense that.
You called me 100 times.
Not quite 100, but I was bordering on 100.
I miss my wife. I don't get to spend as much time with her as I'd like. It's not what I'm used to. We were students, you know, we spent a lot of time together and loved it. Best friends, wanted to be hanging out all the time, and now we're limited to the life of the working person.
Forget about your personal life. The job alone is a juggling act. Now Quinn's en route to serve papers on an adversary in a rent dispute.
This is something that you can only do when you're an articling student or someone other than a lawyer. Once you're a lawyer, you really can't be serving documents anymore because there's the chance that you may have to become a witness in your own action. I always feel like I'm sort of on a clandestine mission when I do these things. My heart rate goes up a little bit, I get a little nervous, sweaty palms. Here we go.
Hi, Richard.
Hi, how it goes?
You've been served, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Christine fears the worst is yet to happen.
I'm kind of afraid that someone all of a sudden is going to jump up and realize that I'm a complete fraud.
4 young lawyers, 12 months, in a test by fire called articling. Christine feels like a fraud in a corporate law firm. And now she has to give a presentation to her senior partners on a new law. But
I'm supposed to teach them about something that I know nothing about.
Quinn spent hours investigating the Rumble Strip case. He's about to present his argument. It's his first appearance in the courtroom where his father's been a star for 20 years.
I don't want to look like an ass in front of my parents' colleagues.
Quinn prepares for court. As usual, he seems pretty confident, but he doesn't have the full story. Not yet.
Preparations are done. We fired about a dozen copies off to the council in the last couple weeks. We came up with a package that I think will be relatively easy to understand.
Off to stage 2.
I feel that I have an intimate enough knowledge of the whole picture. If questions ensue, I feel that it will be a conversation as opposed to sort of hoping I don't get hit with that one question I can't answer.
Let's do it.
But there's something that Quinn doesn't know, an important piece of information about what's motivating his client.
I live here, you know. I enjoy this area. I even lost a son here 2 years ago, okay? From a drunken driver on Highway 21. Yes, just here, there's a cross on the side of the road. He was coming home and a drunken driver ran him over on June 6, 2003. Okay? And now I'm getting emotional.
Now, there's a lot more riding on Quinn's case. A grieving parent is counting on him to make the road in front of his home safe.
There's always something to it. Otherwise, people wouldn't feel so strongly about what they're feeling about it, you know? Law brings you people who feel very strongly about their positions.
Christine has to brief her senior partners on a new business law.
It's dry stuff. I don't think there's any joking about it.
With only a few hours to cram, she has to figure out how the new rules will affect their clients. corporations with huge dollars at stake.
It's difficult for me because I don't know anything about it. It's not, I've never, ever, ever even taken a commercial business law class. So I'm supposed to teach them about something that I know nothing about. And I was supposed to give them stuff that would be applicable to their practice, not necessarily in general, but I don't even know what they do. I'm kind of afraid that someone all of a sudden is going to jump up and realize that I'm a complete fraud. It makes me a little nervous.
The idea is to test her by fire.
What provision are you looking at when you...
Does Christine get burned?
What's a claim?
I don't know.
4 young lawyers, 12 months, in a test by fire called articling. Quinn's about to argue his first case. A traffic safety issue that took the life of his client's son. Quinn's got to show his father he can make a strong case. From a working class family, Christine struggled to support herself through law school. She's arrived at a corporate firm, but she has to prove that she belongs.
But I don't even know what they do. And basically, it's the day on which
Clearly, Christine's terrified. But if you want to be a lawyer, you can never show fear.
The idea is to test her by fire.
And what's a claim mean?
A claim, I believe they define that differently.
The one thing that I discern from Christine when she's in those environments is some element of nervousness that is transmitted in her delivery.
If you ask them, don't get it.
They won't give it to you.
I don't know what to, then you have to, I don't know if...
What provision are you looking at when you say that the payment of interest or
I
partial...
wasn't prepared for them to jump all over some of the stuff that they did. I was kind of thinking, my God, if it's all like that, and if it's all that hard, and if it's all that overwhelming, then I don't want to do it.
This is Quinn's moment of truth. Can he persuade City Council to address the issues of safety that are so emotionally charged for his client? Your first trial gets your heart pumping.
I submit to you, in all honesty, I've witnessed it with my own eyes. This is a clear safety issue and is unnecessary, as we've seen.
I can't imagine what it would be like to do it with my father watching, especially in a case like this.
Now, finally, moving to our recommendations, if I haven't made it imminently clear already, our suggestion is simply to use the model relied on County Road 84, namely decrease the posted speed limit to 50 for the area where the residential density increase exists, to place signage to discourage the use of heavy engine braking, and to mill down the rumble strips to prevent unnecessary noise pollution. Those are our recommendations, and that concludes my submissions. If there's any questions at this time, I'd be pleased to answer them.
Thank you very much. As far as rumble strips are concerned, they're very necessary for safety. And I have a little 3.5-year-old granddaughter. When my tires hit the first rumble strip, she'll go 1, 2, 3, 5, stop, Grandma. So you see, there is a message there with rumble strip.
I don't think putting a 50-kilometer sign down will make any difference to the speed of the traffic heading east. I don't think it'll make one bit of difference.
Beginning to become...
Quinn is learning that preparation is only part of the game. You have to be able to think on your feet.
But to say that the signs have no effect really sort of negatives the whole system of highways.
That is why I will never
The other thing is the
contract with the Solicitor General for OPP policing until they come to the table and treat us as respectful customers of theirs.
I just don't understand why, if we don't think it's going to work perfectly, I'm getting the sense that nothing should be done. And to suggest that decreasing the speed and putting up signs is going to have no effect or a negative effect seems to me to be counterintuitive. And that's what I'd like to say by way of response.
Satisfaction guaranteed is not an expression we lawyers use.
Sorry that there wasn't a big fanfare and that we couldn't just clear it straight up. I was hoping for that too. Didn't expect it, but I was hoping for it.
A case can always go either way. It's the hardest lesson for a young lawyer to learn. Making his mark in a small town isn't going to be easy for Quinn.
That paper of it. You're misbehaving.
Family demands and a tough case pull Aisha Chowdhury in two different directions. A man's life hangs in the balance.
Go to jail.
And Bill Thompson uncovers a key piece of evidence.
And so you were videotaping the whole thing? Wow.
His client is facing a 5-year jail sentence. The charge? Assaulting a police officer.
Just gonna shove that.
Ooh!
How?
Ooh, right in the coconut.